Hi people, I'm Moino Ravenberg here again as always. Yeah, in this segment I'm going to briefly discuss Chiron. I'm sorry if this picture is a bit hazy, but just this once, more or less, I did not want, or just for a change, I did not want to use my own chart as an example. In any case, let's dive right in. I'm going to discuss the celestial body Chiron, okay? You can easily look up Chiron, hold on. If you look up Chiron, what do you get? Chiron astrology. What is Chiron? See? Okay, you can just ignore this. Chiron is named after a Greek healer, etc., etc., etc. Chiron as astrology body. What Chiron is exactly? Um, what is the asteroid Chiron? Okay, because Chiron's an asteroid as far as I know. Yeah, here you go. Chiron is a small solar system body in the outer solar system orbiting the sun between Saturn and Uranus. That's all you need to be worried about, or that you need to keep in mind for the rest. Okay, Chiron is simply named after a Greek philosopher, indeed, as far as I know. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, Chiron was also played a part in the Greek underworld, Chiron mythology. Hold on, Chiron mythology. Yeah, wasn't Chiron the ferryman? Oh no. Yeah, no, Chiron was a centaur. Yeah, now I remember. He was a mythical creature, half man, half horse, and yeah. Okay. Again, you can easily Google this for yourself or look this up for yourself, and or check the thingy, the link in the description below. I'll link a Wikipedia page there on both where the name Chiron comes from, so the mythological creature that Chiron is named after, as well as the actual celestial body, so asteroid Chiron. So you can read your heart out and whatnot. I'm simply going to discuss, as usual, what Chiron is exactly in astrology and how Chiron operates. And it's similar to Lilith. It's very simple, honestly. In this person's chart, this is the actual chart of an individual who's reading I did light years ago, so to speak. Chiron, obviously, I removed the name and any other data for the sake of discretion and privacy. Um, Chiron is 4 degrees in Capricorn in the ninth house, and it's conjunct the midheaven. This arrow, okay. Chiron by default, in terms of properties that it brings to the table in astrology as a celestial body, Chiron stands for is essentially a teacher position, a teacher quote unquote planet. Just like I mentioned in an earlier video, Chiron essentially in one's natal chart conveys where the person or what the person is good in the way of information giving. Okay, what the person is good in the way of information giving or in the way of teaching people things, all the while ironically not being able to take his or her own advice. Okay, all of that depends on what zodiac signs the zodiac sign Chiron is in and what astrological house Chiron is in. For example, here Chiron is in Capricorn. Chiron in Capricorn. Oh yeah, by the way, Chiron is also seen as the modern ruler of Virgo. So Chiron rules Virgo or Virgo and the sixth house. Okay, in addition to Mercury, Chiron is the modern ruler. Mercury is the traditional ruler. So Chiron by default, generally speaking, is it's a mashup with Chiron. Honestly, there is no zodiac sign that Chiron is exceptionally strong in, other than Virgo and a couple of other Earth signs. Capricorn is another sign. You name it. It's just a complete mashup. You can't say that hey, Chiron is good in this and that. No, Chiron is also good in Gemini, good in Aquarius, etc. Chiron would be neutral in a couple of fire signs, and Chiron would be weak in water signs. Chiron would be weak, generally speaking, in in water signs like Pisces and Cancer and Scorpio and so on. Also in a couple of other fire signs. Okay, it would be neutral in Aries in general, but Leo and Sagittarius, it all depends. In any case, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, whether it's exalted or afflicted. No, 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 no. Now, for the purposes of this example, Chiron here is in Capricorn in the ninth house. Chiron in Capricorn simply stands for the fact that the person is good at giving advice in relation to authority, matters of authority. So think of career-related advice, advice that are indicative or that is indicative of leadership and whatnot. And yeah, that's essentially it. Um, and Chiron in the ninth house indicates where the person can give that kind of advice specifically. The person can give that kind of advice to other people in relation to subjects of a higher educational level. So all things like university levels of intellect, or not intellect, education, um, since intelligence and education obviously are not one and the same. Sometimes they go along with one another, other times they don't. Um, Anything you can think of, okay? Anything in relation to advice giving to a position of authority. Think of a police chief, the chief of a police precinct. Think of a judge. Think of anyone that finds himself or herself in a position of authority. All things of a Sagittarian nature, since it's in the ninth house. So also in relation to foreign travel, long distance travel, dealing with large animals such as bears, predatory animals, bears, tigers, lions, etc., wolves. So essentially, this person is good at giving advice, especially since it's in such a strong position. It's conjunct the sun in the same zodiac sign, and it's conjunct the midheaven. This person is excellent at giving career-related advice, advice relating to how to do your job well or how to get there. If you're a judge in the making, if you're a professor in the making, anyone that essentially has a high-ranking position in society, career-wise, and also to a lesser extent in terms of how to deal with large animals, for example, how to cope with the bear attack, how to prevent or avoid being mauled by a bear. It just goes on and on and on and on. Okay, but adversely, ironically, this person would not be good at taking their own advice. This person would be excellent at giving advice in this department, but at the same time, the person would definitely not do well in relation to following his or her own advice. Since this was a woman, she would not do well in taking her own advice, or she does not do well in taking her own advice in terms of actually taking care of her own career or making it for herself on her own, as well as to avoid being mauled by a bear, so to speak, and give an example. You know what I mean, okay? That's what I'm getting at. So this woman is excellent at giving advice on all of this stuff, etc., etc. But ironically, she, for example, does not have a great career. She is like a hot dog vendor. I'm not dissing hot dog vendors, obviously. It's just giving an example. She works a dead end job herself. So imagine a lunch lady at a school cafeteria. Again, no, not dissing lunch ladies. You know what I mean? Okay, it's a job that's not exactly desirable. Okay, it's generally speaking a dead end job with dead end prospects or no prospects. Imagine literally a lunch lady at a school cafeteria that is excellent at giving advice to lawyers and judges and professors, okay, at universities on exactly how to do their jobs optimally and well to the point where they actually forge a good career for themselves, an exquisite or excellent career. It's quite ironic. It's hilariously ironic and ironically hilarious. But yeah, in any case, guys, that's what Chiron means, okay? It just keeps going on and on and on, okay? Chiron in Leo, for example, would stand for someone that's excellent at giving relationship advice and advice on how to deal with the stock market and how to actually, what entertainment related venues to go to, what kind of music to listen to, what kind of concerts to go to, blah, 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 blah. But ironically, the person himself or herself has a poor taste in all of these things, such as a poor taste in music, a poor taste in romantic partners or little to no romantic partners being present in their lives, someone that's never been in a serious relationship or any relationship, um, or someone that is or someone that would not do well or has not done well in the stock market. And yeah, that's essentially the gist of it. Okay, just as a closer, since I mentioned it earlier, let's go briefly over around. Let's take a rundown over all the zodiac signs. Chiron in Aries is neutral in general. Chiron in Taurus is semi-exalted essentially. Chiron in Gemini is exalted, strong. Chiron in Cancer, yeah, no, it's weak in Cancer. Chiron in Leo, yeah, also weak, semi-weak essentially. Chiron in Virgo, strong. Chiron in Libra, strong. Chiron in Scorpio, weak, honestly. Uh, Chiron in Sagittarius is strong. Chiron in Capricorn is strong. Semi-strong to strong for both Sagittarius and Capricorn. Chiron in Aquarius, strong. And Chiron in Pisces is weak. Ironically, I'm sorry, not ironically. Okay, coincidentally, or arguably, sorry, arguably is the word I was looking for. Arguably, Chiron is at its weakest. If you want to appoint a weak zodiac sign, Chiron would be at its weakest in Pisces. Since Chiron is the modern ruler of Virgo and Virgo opposes Pisces, then yeah, Chiron is really weak in Pisces, okay, arguably at its weakest. Now I'm seeing it. Someone that has Chiron in Pisces, for example, is someone that is generally speaking good at giving advice on mental illness and on how to remain hidden and unseen, so keep themselves in the background. All the while, the person himself or herself being mentally ill, as well as not being able to go by undetected in life. That's shortly summarize what Chiron indicates here. Okay, Chiron in Cancer, for example, would stand for someone that is good at giving household-related advice or advice on matters relating to emotions, as in how to regulate and balance your emotions, all the while the person themselves being a mental wreck or an emotional wreck, in the sense of as well as not doing well in the household overall. The person's own household more or less lies in shambles. So there you go, guys. That's all. See you guys later. Bye.